Welcome to Earth Speed. What is Earth Speed? It's a lifestyle in the cadence of nature. In this series, I will be bringing you stories from the land, sharing how I moved my life from the big city in Hollywood, jet setting around the world, to land here in Texas in order to be closer to nature. Now, I want to share everything I learned with you, challenges and triumphs, as I stumble my way through learning how to farm, homestead, tackle new survival skills, build a community, prepare for the unknown and the future, and just try and be a better human. I'm going to be inviting incredible thought leaders to grapple with big ideas and new ways of seeing ourselves in the world, entrepreneurs who are building better businesses for the planet, and teachers who will share their wisdom so we can all learn together how to be more self-sufficient, self-reliant, and resilient, so we can all pitch in to make a more beautiful world together. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, but without further ado, here we go. Episode 1, The Winds of Change. The winds of change. So I spent about a year, almost a year, living in a small, tiny camper. It was a 1967 Red Dale camper that I bought from a guy on Craigslist. And then I drove it back to Austin and I parked it in a tiny little patch of land, and I began what many call the dark night of the soul, where I started to unravel my ego identity and start to find greater purpose. Upon re-emerging, I found myself here in nature with a much more grounded, rooted sense of self. I'm inviting Jamie Wheel, who's an incredible mentor, thought leader, modern day philosopher, who's written 2 incredible books that have really changed my life. And I guess he saw that I was really doing the work. You came to visit me when I was just coming out of my dark night of the soul in the backyard there, living in a little patch of land in the camper.
Which, by the way, I totally respect it, because when you said come on by, I was expecting some new, swanky, modernist East Side pad, and you're posted up in a gear shed and a trailer, digging the dirt. I mean, you might as well have had an ashes on your forehead. It was awesome. I'm like, oh wow, he's serious.
How did I end up in a trailer in the earth, and how did I end up going through that transformation, like that death rebirth?
Well, dude, I mean, you know better than I do, so I mean, I'd almost want to be asking you that question, you know? But like, for sure, that was a crisis in life and meaning and relationship to self and others in the middle of your life, right? AKA, right? Which you took on the chin and made the most of, and it sounded like, at least as you've described it to me, that you intuitively sought out the things you felt had the greatest deficits in your life and world. So getting humble, anonymous, you know, rooting yourself in the soil and growing things, being creative and in the real world in 3D, not in simulation. Like, it feels like a lot of that stuff. It's sort of almost like R and R and R. Like we need rest, rejuvenation, and remembering. Like, quite literally, like we are dismembered and we are experiencing amnesia of self and lineage and place.
So there's a quote that says, the spirit of the tool is determined by the hand of the user. And there's another quote that says, the betterment of society starts with the transformation of the individual. That's why human flourishing is so important. What are we imagining? Can we bring our tools and our money as a tool and investments into the sacred space? Can we use it in a way to actually transform not only individuals, can we transform all of society and all of humanity?
I think I just figured out. This is a peach tree. Oh my God, it's a pet peeve when the bag isn't open right. When the chips bag is, someone ripped it sideways.
What I love about Adrian is that he is very aware that this is an endless journey of self-discovery.
Ba Manuzzi is a force. I mean, wow, what an incredible woman. I met Ba many years ago, and she approached me because she was like, I really love what you're doing in the world, and I want to support your investments. And we got along so well that we ended up starting Du Contra Ventures together.
There's a lot of things Adrian and I share. Like, his nickname is Du Contra, right? He's a rebel. I'm a rebel. Like, for me, it was always like about breaking the rules, making sure I could create a structure that worked. We just can't stand how things operate in a lot of ways in the system, in society. And we stand up for the things we believe, you know. So we both have that force, almost like a warrior type of force. It's like, doesn't matter how challenging this gets, we'll get this done. He has evolved a lot from the RV to the farm, for sure. First time I visited and he was like cutting and doing, and I was like, he must be kidding, like this will last like 2 weeks. And it has been almost a year, you know, and he became the farmer, and there he is, like driving and doing his thing, and like it's amazing, like to see. But it's a very important project in his evolvement, you know. It's him becoming a way more of who he truly is, connecting with his soul, to the nature, and grounding himself.
There seems to be a lot of natural cover plants. I'm learning. If you want an expert, turn the channel. Find another channel.
Of course, he's the creative, he's the connector, and he has a lot of passion also for like the thesis we created, like the investment verticals. And I'm more, again, like the grounding force, like, okay, can we truly achieve impact through what you envision? Like, can we have the best founders as part of like this community, this family? Can we have a team that believes in what we are building together?
What I've learned is a lot of this is about remaining curious and open, willing to make mistakes, accepting feedback.
And by feedback, you really mean the nature, like communicating to you, like if it worked or not?
Yeah, nature's gonna tell you, hey, that what you did didn't work, or more of that. You know, when you start seeing things blossoming and growing, you're like, oh, that worked well.
After all that effort to try and water this darn grass, it started raining. I just might go a little crazy right now.
Suddenly my friend base is farmer friendly. You know, I have like a lot of farmer hangouts now.
Would you say that we all should be becoming a laboratory for new possibilities of coexisting together in community?
Well, I mean, I think it's a tremendous privilege, or a thing you can't not do. So you're just either it's an irrefusable calling, and or it is an elective investigation. And I think both have value. But I think also something that's kind of important to know is we're just thinking about like, how do we get together as tribal primates and how do we do this thing halfway decently? I think there's an overemphasis right now on exalted peak state seeking as something that everybody needs and should be rapidly and widely distributed. And you're sort of like, well, of course you want the best for everybody. You don't want anything that's profound and meaningful to not be accessible by all. And on the other hand, you know, not everybody in a given village or community was the shaman, right? Nor the blacksmith, nor the priest, right? Everybody had a variety of roles. So there's a role for deliberate types of innovation and exploration and experimentation across the board. So like you're doing a rural Jeffersonian gig, right? With modern tech updates, right? Somebody else could be doing inner city food forest or urban rooftop gardening, or how do we build community in a city block? Totally different parameters. We need them all.
You want to plant a tree or two with me?
Yeah, man, for sure.
Thank you, Jimmy.
Yeah,
Love you, brother.
being at the land right now and seeing his vision coming to reality in such a tangible way, planting trees together, like treating the soil, it's something we don't usually do these days. Like, we go on a hike, but we don't really go planting things together, you know? The whole concept of Earth Speed, it's extremely important for the entrepreneurial, especially for the tech world, because we just do not respect Earth Speed. Like, we try to do everything faster. We disrespect our bodies. We disrespect the way everything should be on flow, just trying to impose our own velocity.
Not everything has to happen now, today. You know, when I grew up in New York, everything was like boom, boom, boom. Here, it's taking a step back, taking a breath, and letting the land speak to me, and knowing that everything will happen in time. There's always a chance to do what you need to do. My philosophy is we live at the speed of Earth. You know, it's a lifestyle in the cadence of nature. Earth Speed.